Oh, boy. Yeah, so the furnace went out on us just in time for winter. So,
Always.
Yeah. And now we're living with space
Right
heaters
as
and
this
everywhere.
ridiculous storm is barreling up the East Coast. Great.
We got lucky last night. It did not get below freezing, so all of the precipitation was just rain.
Yep. Same here.
Yeah.
Well, at least you're not snowed in at some rando's house for like 4 days.
That's true.
That's good.
If I recall, she didn't feed me or give me a handy, I think, if I recall.
No, but I do remember that she had a automated stand to sit desk that you were having a lot of fun with.
That's right.
While recording from a bunker in a snowstorm.
That's right. I was in her basement for sure. Mm-hmm. If only I could remember her name.
I can't get to the don't bite the handy that feeds you joke, but I know it's in there somewhere.
But it's there somewhere. There's a walk somewhere to that joke.
See, now it has to stay in because you made it too funny, Arbor.
I already broke our show 3 minutes in.
It's so good. Oh,
Hi, Mom.
Yeah, so just prepare to...
It'll be great.
It'll be perfect.
Y'all motherfuckers don't watch us play throughout the year, to tell you the truth. I'm gonna be real with you, and I don't care if I get fined.
I got my sweet jar off, put some strings on.
That train is off the tracks.
Who doesn't love the bouncy castle?
Hitler.
Just prepare to... just prepare to be awash in undebeatable goodness.
Welcome, Pacers fans. You're listening to the Undebeatables, your semi-weekly Pacers podcast. Today is January 6th, 2024, and this is episode 678. Coming to you from the high school home of Jamison Brewer, Silver Spring, Maryland. I'm the Dr. Jason Triplett. This show, we're going to discuss hella games because we haven't talked to you guys for a while, but we're going to focus, I guess, on games against Milwaukee, Atlanta, and Boston that happened this week. Joining me this week are two of our analysts coast to coast, like buttered toast. First, from Asheville, North Carolina, he's our in-house bartender, mixing up the drinks and the crappy jingles. It's John Coulson.
What is up, Pacer Nation? I have missed you. It has been way too long. We're going to talk about all the things, but I do want to, I don't know if we mentioned this before, but R.I.P. George McGinnis, one of the great Pacers of all time. We've been gone a long time, so that happened a while ago, but what an amazing career, an amazing man of the community. I mean, born and raised in the city, and one of the greats. So, shout out.
Shout out, indeed.
out.
Thank you for doing that. We definitely failed to do that the last time we recorded.
I think it just happened. It was, a lot was going on.
A lot was happening, yep. And from Boise, Idaho, out west, it's our enforcer, John Harper.
What is going on, fellas? I hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas. Shout out to the Coulsons. When I got back from my travels, I had a very kind gift. Shout out, you guys.
Double shout out. I also got a gift from the Coulsons.
Always so thoughtful. I don't know how he ended up with this guy.
No.
Yeah, I know. My mother's so disappointed all the time.
Yeah, right.
We had a principal, Mr. McLeod, I think, that would always say, when we would go, he would celebrate the students for doing something well, and he'd be like, yeah, but we all know the acorn doesn't fall too far from the tree, so really it's you guys. But in Coulson's case, the oak tree was on a hill, so the acorns dropped and it
It's way down.
way down, way far.
And then you're stuck with this guy.
They rolled expeditiously down the hill.
All right, so I think the last time that we recorded, the Pacers were in the midst of a stretch of basketball where they lost 7 of 9 games, spanning from I guess the in-season tournament final isn't an official game, but they lost that game. Then beat Detroit, then lost to Milwaukee, lost to Washington. I was at that stupid game. Lost to Minnesota, lost to the Clippers, beat the Hornets,
Yay!
then lost to the Grizzlies, and lost to Orlando. That took us up to Christmas Day, basically. And then since then, the Pacers have gone on a tear.
Hey!
So December 26th, beat Houston in Houston. 2 days later, beat Chicago in Chicago. 2 days after that, beat the Knicks at home. Then opened up the new year with a win at Milwaukee. And then 2 days later, beat Milwaukee again, this time in the field house. And then on Friday, beat the Atlanta Hawks, scoring 150 points against that team.
50
However,
assists.
Today, 50 assists
on
that game.
60 field goals. Unbelievable.
Sad news, though, that 6-game win streak, which is the longest of the season thus far, came to an end tonight as the Pacers dropped one to Boston in the Fieldhouse, 118-101. So we're not gonna dive into probably specific games too much here, since there's so much basketball to cover. But I just want to let's start with you, Colson. I mean, roller coaster of emotions for you. You know, the holidays are always a time of reflection and
Certainly they
getting
are.
into arguments with your family, but then also the joy of the lights and all this whatnot. How are you doing? How are you feeling about this team right now?
Well, I had missed the final show before the holidays. Of course, we missed a couple weeks, and I think I sent a text to you all that said that I had not that I had given up on the team, but the team had given up on itself. It had no soul. They no longer cared about the purity of the game. I was very upset. They only played for tournament trophies. Outside of that, they didn't care about winning. And I was very, very down on this team. I went out with a fan of the show, Mike Morrow, to watch this Houston game that came right after Christmas. And Rick Carlisle had taken my criticism seriously. I think he was very upset as well about our effort on defense. And he started the team that started last year. So, we had talked so much in the offseason about, we need to bring in Bennett Mathurin into the starting lineup. He's ready. He had such a great rookie season. Obi Toppin was the big name guy we'd put in. We'd given some, traded a draft pick for from the Knicks to bring in as our starting lineup. And Carlisle said, you know what, I'm going back to what works with us. And Jalen Smith and Aaron Nembhard get the starters' minutes against Houston, and we win the game. And this changed the trajectory of our season. I think we are playing slightly better defense, or at least defense enough to allow our scoring to be as amazing and incredible as it's been. Halliburton has been on fire, but I think Carlisle going to the team and saying, "Look, if you're not going to put in effort, you're not going to play in the starting lineup. You're not going to, you put a challenge to the team." And I think the team has responded, and it's been a fantastic 6-game run until losing to maybe the best team in the league against the Celtics. So, yeah, that's where that's where I'm starting with.
So inserting Andrew Nembhard into the lineup.
Well, no, I think part of it. I mean, one of the things is one of the things we said last year is that having an extra ball handler and passer matters. Also, I think that Jalen Smith's injury and inability to play a lot of these games has led to losses. Like, Jalen Smith is one of our best players. He's our best rebounder. And he didn't really fit last year and he lost his starters minutes, and we went small, but he's playing so well this year. I mean, last year he didn't have the 3-pointer. It's back. I mean, I think you take a guy who's been one of our best players and put him in that starting lineup, and I things start to make a little bit more sense. Mathurin gets to go back to the bench and be the offensive punch that he always has been in his rookie season, and not sort of lost to all of the offense that's in the first unit. Obi Toppin continued to be an athlete. He can do that off the bench. I don't know. It just seems to make more sense. It seems like everything seems to make a little bit more sense, and I'm excited. I'm excited for the direction of this team. And you put the guys that play defense in the first unit, and put the guys that run and gun in the second unit. And again, we're not a solid defensive team. We're not even a good one. We're not anything. We're just slightly better. And if you're the best offense in the league, all you have to be is slightly competent, right? I mean, I will remind the listeners that if the season were to end today, we would be the highest scoring basketball team in the history of the NBA. Like, we are doing something very special, and all I have to do is be slightly competent at defense, and that's what we did this last 2 weeks. We're starting to win games. That's all it takes.
Harper, do you concur with that assessment, or do you see something else happening with this team?
Well, I'm a little bit worried about podcasting at all right now. If we don't podcast, we go on long win streaks. The second we started recording, we lost to the Celtics. I'm a little concerned.
Sure.
That maybe the Pacers just hate us. Yeah. I mean, it's been obviously a heck of a run. I guess in answer to the analysis question, it kind of depends on what you're trying to accomplish. Can you win Can you win more than 50% of basketball games with no defense? I mean, yeah, during the regular season, sure. To get to the finals, probably not enough to just not play defense.
No, you can't win in the playoffs this way. You can't do that. No.
Well, we in that 6-game winning streak, the back-to-back wins against the Bucks sure do stand out. That is a really good team, and had it not been for dropping those 2 games to us, they would have the same record as the league-leading Boston Celtics. That is a very good team, whose number we just seem to have, which Malik Beasley said as much after the game, and promising that, if we met in the playoffs, it was going to go very badly for us. So that's a real rivalry starting out there, and that's been fun to watch.
ESPN called it the best rivalry in the NBA.
Yeah,
this is fun.
It's quickly becoming must-see TV. That's for sure. I did not see that one coming before the season started.
No,
Right.
Not at all.
Well, you
in
guys,
fact, we were panicking about the January to be wary, which there are still a lot of tough games left in January, but it started out with home and home with the Bucks, and we're like, oh, there's 2 losses, and instead we're giving Milwaukee an existential crisis, basically.
we're 40% of their losses. They've lost 10 games, and we've won 4 of those games from them. Like, this is insane. Like, also we've played 5 games against them only because of the tournament, right? This would never happen in a season before this. And we won 4 of those 5 games. And the only game they won against us was after the tournament, where Antetokounmpo put up historically his best career high. It was 64 points, and it was also Milwaukee Bucks high scoring ever, even over Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And there was the whole game ball gate that you guys did such a good job of going over last week. That's the only way they won that game. Otherwise, we're dominating this team.
Yeah.
Like, this is crazy.
And if they have to do against us what they did in that game that they did win, no one's going to be available in their team for the next round of whatever playoffs they're in, because it was just pure bully ball out there.
Yeah. I would love to see a 7-game series of this, right? Can we play them a 3-6 matchup and go ahead and, I don't know, beat them?
Well,
I'm in.
as of today, the Pacers are in the home court top of the bracket at 20-14. We are fourth in the East. However, there are 4 teams behind us that are all 20-15, which we're about to be. Is that official in Boston?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
So-
So we're now 2015.
Yeah, a lot of basketball to be played, and it's going to be interesting to see how the East shakes out. Obviously, a lot of parity when there's 5 teams that are tied in
Wow.
January. So
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, Colson, I agree with you. I think that there was a sort of a reset of, obviously the lineup and a bit more focus on defense. But I think really the answer to this is simple. It's Tyrese Halliburton. Tyrese Halliburton just,
Just incredible.
I don't know if he was exhausted after the tournament and all the amazing stuff that he was doing there, but he went through a stretch in that, that stretch where we lost 6 and 7, where he just wasn't Tyrese Halliburton to me, like to the eye test. The numbers are similar. His shooting was a bit down, his scoring was a bit down, and I don't know what changed, but he seemed to recapture that effervescence that he had during the tournament. I mean, he hurt himself a bit in that Washington game, which was sort of the second loss in that stretch, and I wonder if now he's over that. But just to give you a flavor, he did things that haven't been done really in NBA history, or maybe have only been done a couple times. So against Chicago, he goes ahead and drops 20 assists, 21 points, and 0 turnovers, which is only the second time in NBA history that such a line has been put up. I think Chris Paul had the other one. 2 days later, he goes out against the Knicks and throws up 23 assists, and really could have had like 30. It was nuts, like the pace at which he was giving these
tying
things
a
out.
franchise record.
Yeah. And at the same time, like picking his spots and hitting huge shots and like getting to the lane and making buckets when we need them. And then against the
the back-to-back 20 assist games was only done twice in history. It was Stockton and Magic Johnson, I believe. I mean, it's
Something
just,
like that,
it's like that stuff doesn't happen.
Yeah. And then through the 2 Bucks games, which he was magnificent in, he shot 50% in both of those games. In the second game, hit 5 3-pointers, all of which were key. Had 3 blocks and and also racked up double-digit assists. And so that 4-game stretch, Tyrese Halliburton threw up 66 assists and only had 4 turnovers. And I mean, when your best guy is playing at that level, I mean, you're going to win games, which is fantastic.
In the
to
Hawks
see.
game, which we put up 50 assists on 60 field goals, which is outrageous. He put up 18 assists in like 28 minutes, and then sat down because we were
25 minutes.
we were just beating the snot out of him. He didn't have to play anymore. I mean, just
Exactly.
absolutely unbelievable.
He's got like a 5-to-1 turnover ratio. It's crazy.
Which is not a real thing, Harper. Like, this is not a
used
thing
to
that's
be.
ever happened.
Welcome to the
4
future.
to 1 is 4-to-1 is like the best in history. Like, this is stupid. This is great. It's amazing.
It is awesome. And I mean, he credits his guys, obviously. Obviously assists are directly proportional to field goal makes, right? So if the team's shooting well, then he's going to do a lot better. You have a night like tonight against the Celtics where the Pacers shoot an atrocious amount from 3-point range, 8 of 42 from 3-point range, right? And he's only got 7 assists, but by and large, this team has the best field goal percentage in the league, and like you said, puts up the most points. So, and all of that is driven by the catalyst like play of Tyrese Halliburton.
Well, and he got player of the week in response to his 20 back-to-back 20-point games. I'm glad the NBA is recognizing him. I looked hard to try to find this stat, but there's something. to be said for the Miles Turner, Halliburton pick and roll. At this point, is becoming nearly unstoppable. In that Hawks game, I think Turner put up 27. They're just becoming incredibly dangerous. I had heard something earlier in the season about how we were closing in on sort of Stockton Malone type numbers, and I haven't found anything to quantify that or to back that up. But we are those two are clearly the best duo on the team, and it looks like they're right with Embiid and Maxey for the best pick and roll duo in the NBA right now. So it's pretty amazing because Embiid is an MVP candidate right now. So
Yeah. CBS had a nice article about talking to other Pacers about Tyrese's passing. Andrew Nimhart called him diabolical, which
that's good.
which I liked a lot. He's also described as artistic. He's an artist. Miles Turner, responsible for 92 of 380 assists that Tyrese has had this season prior to the Celtics game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's getting the rock a lot. And Isaiah Jackson's hitting like 80% of his shots within 3 feet because of Halliburton.
Puts it, right above the basket for him.
Yeah. It does make it easier.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I'm so proud of the way we need more rebounding, we need more interior defense, but I feel like our big guys are playing really well, and maybe that's just the way that Halliburton makes him look. I don't know. He's just, I don't know. And also, we're real small outside of our three big guys, so I don't know.
He does an incredible job of spacing the floor and putting guys in a position to succeed. He's just incredible.
Yeah.
He will be rewarded with an all-star berth.
Without a doubt.
By fan voting.
You think?
Yeah, most likely.
All right.
He's a very popular guy.
In-scene tournament.
And he got a lot of shine.
He got a lot of shine. And he is, right now, Jokic is an incredible player. But if you ask me who I'd rather watch play basketball, I'm going with Tyrese right now.
Did you see Jokic's three-pointer from the logo to finish the game the other night, and he jumped around like a little kid? That was pretty fun. He wasn't that excited when he won the title.
My guy routinely skips on the floor. So
yeah, good call. It's called the Halliburton hop, I believe.
So I want to circle back to Andrew Nimhard, who I agree with you, Colson, had a big impact in these games recently, but he got hurt in I think it was the first Milwaukee game, and then missed the second one. Do we know what his status is? He has a bad back, basically. So he's going to be in and out.
Sore
all
lower
year.
back. Yeah.
Okay.
So I assume that that will destroy him for the rest of his life. Sore lower backs are chronic and awful. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, I think he'll be back soon. Look, I think we forgot how special he was last year. He was a rookie and was playing starting shooting guard for us on a pretty successful team until we decided to start tanking. Halliburton went down with an injury and we put him down and, whatever. But we were winning a lot of games and Nimhard was the driving force behind some big wins, including a game winner in LA and all that stuff on the road. This kid's really special. And I think having him healthy is really important. I think when you put him in the starting lineup, it also frees up McConnell to be the full-time backup point guard. And, he does so much stuff for us as far as change of pace, being an adult on the floor. And the other thing to remember is this winning streak, that 6-game winning streak, started around the same time that we re-signed James Johnson. right? We got the adult in the room as the 15th man, big guy, enforcer. You know,
Obviously,
I don't know.
the difference.
Ish. I think we signed him. I mean, I agree with you that he's a great locker room guy, but I think we signed him. If I remember right, it was before the Washington game. I think.
Okay.
Right?
Well, I mean, it takes him a while to get his presence known. You know, I mean, you don't need to do it in day one. You give him a guy a couple weeks.
Okay. Fair enough.
But no, I mean, that stuff matters, right? And like, I think the energy in the locker room, and I really do think. I mean, Carlisle is a pretty open coach. You know, he talks about things that he's not happy with, and he's been really upset about the defense for a long time. And you know, he finally got fired up enough to start making changes and threatening guys about their playing time, and stuff changed. He was clear about that, and you know, you put that in the same thing with James Johnson and Jalen Smith and Nimhard getting that starting, you know, getting those starting minutes, and stuff changes. You know, one of my favorite teams of all time was, I think, was it the 18 team, 17 team. We had Oladipo, but we had a bunch of guys like Bogdanovich and Thaddeus Young and Collison and Corey Joseph, all these guys that just did the little things, right? And that was it. And we had Nate McMillan, who, as a coach, wanted the team to do little things. And so we won the game in the margins, right? We got the offensive rebounds, and we didn't turn the ball over, and we won more than half of our games. Just as a scrappy and, you know, not the most talented team, but we just worked harder every day. This team is young and has none of those advantages, and we're not trying to win in the margins. We're just going to outscore you. We don't do the little things very well. And part of that is Carlisle's design, and now he's a little upset about it. And you know, it's you know, you create your own demons, but if you can fix that in real time, this season still has a chance.
Well, I think this season has a fantastic chance. I mean, like Harper said, we're currently 4th, but I mean, tied with
6 teams,
6 other teams or whatever, right? But there's a clear gap between. There's like those. I think it's 5 teams, and then there's a big drop off to the, like, those go through the 8th spot, and then 9, 10 are like significantly behind.
They're Brooklyn,
so I think
Chicago,
that this team,
so not good.
right? Yeah. So I think this team is at a minimum headed towards a play-in scenario and getting some postseason action, I guess, at some level. And then if things continue to go okay, then potentially, you know, getting them that top 6 range or whatever. That's definitely on the.
That's got to be the goal. I mean,
on the horizon, yeah. And
I
I mean,
want
this 6 game.
single game
I think
plan.
the last time. Yeah, I think the last time we podcasted, I was saying like this team needs to go on like a 6 or 7 game win streak like soon, because the schedule is going to get super tough, and that's the thing that they haven't done yet. And so they did that, and now you can see how valuable that is. Like, put you solidly 5 games above.
Yeah, instead of 14 and 14, right?
Yeah, exactly. So,
well, and this is a really tough stretch. You know, I don't. What did you call it, Jason?
the horrible name of January. Be wary or something.
Be
like
wary,
that.
January. Yeah, because you know, it started out well, but now we have this back-to-back Boston stretch, and then we go on I think it's is it a 5 or 6 game Western Road swing where there's 2 back-to-backs in the midst of it, and this is going to be a very tough stretch. And so the fact that we gave ourselves a little breathing room going into this stretch is important. We may be 500 2 weeks from now, but if we didn't go on this winning streak, we'd be below. You know, so
Well,
we did what we had to do.
There's going to be some ups and downs for this team. We knew that going into the season. Like, you know, this is a young team, and while there are, you know, holes, a lot of which is the experience-y sort of stuff that a Thaddeus Young does for you. You know, that's what maturing into the game and growing is. And we have a good coaching staff, so it's going to coach these guys up. And I think it speaks really well to the makeup of the roster that Carlisle has enough ponies in the stable that he can rework his starting lineup and rip off a 6-game win streak out of what he had on the bench. I mean, that speaks really well for our team and the level of cohesion in the locker room, I think. So I don't know. It's very exciting for this group of guys, and they'll continue to improve. There'll be some ups and downs, but yeah, we're a playoff team. And
Well,
we know that they can step up for big games. They like the spotlight.
That's the thing, right? The bigger the game, the better they play. And I think there was they were interviewing Turner. I don't know if it was after the 50 assist game or the 40 assist game. Both are ridiculous. Yeah. And he was going, yeah, that's just who we are. Like this is we share the ball and we care about each other, and so stuff's gonna happen like that. And you're like, yeah, okay. The fact that they feel like that and that's what they want and that's what they care about matters. That's really cool. So,
Well, next week the Be Wary January continues.
Oh, it's gonna get
Monday.
bad.
Monday hosting Boston again. Wednesday hosting the Wizards. And then Friday at Atlanta. That's the beginning of our 6 game.
Oh, no, this week's good.
Well,
Sweep.
hold on, my friend. That's the beginning of our 6-game road swing, which we go at Atlanta, at Denver, at Utah, at Sacramento, at Portland, at Phoenix, and then come home to play Denver, Philly, Phoenix, and Memphis before going back on the road to play Boston and New York.
Yeah. And New York is all of a sudden super scary.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Sacramento
and
again.
Utah's playing good ball,
Yeah.
and like Portland's on the second night of a back-to-back. Like Phoenix is kind of a mess, but they also have KD and Booker, and Beal is back now.
Yeah, I don't know if they're a mess
Memphis
anymore.
has Ja.
Yeah, Ja's back.
This is going to be a stretch. So keep your head up. There's going to be some ass whoopings in there for sure. But again, like you said, Colson, this team can score with the best of them, and so they can easily outscore a team any one of these nights. If we can go 500 through this stretch of basketball,
it'd be a miracle.
Fantastic.
It'd be a miracle if we could do that. Put us in the 4th seed. There's just no way we go 500 in this stretch. It's just impossible. I think we could be above 500 by the end of the season. I think the rest of the season we can roll downhill, but this stretch is the worst of the whole season.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
If we can go 500, God bless us. We're a home court playoff team.
Yeah, this is the worst stretch of the season. This is the worst stretch of many seasons.
Many seasons.
Yeah.
I agree with that. This is brutal.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
Whew.
But
all right,
you don't get better by playing the worst teams in leagues, right? Iron sharpens iron. So
that's a good point.
This stuff is good for us, even if we gotta peg a few losses along the way. There's no way we're an under 500 team. There's no way. It's not where we're gonna end this season. I love these guys.
Agreed.
Too good for that.
I do too. I before we close up here, I was going through my favorite Pacer teams of all time, right? And I have a top 10 that I keep in my phone, and I know, of course I do.
And how many have you accused of giving up on themselves and losing their soul?
Probably all of them. Probably all of them during the season at one point. But right now, without playoff, because the playoff runs usually matter for my top 10. Right now, this is my 12th favorite team of all time, since I've been watching this team, and I've been watching this team since I was 11 years old. So yeah, I'm loving watching this season. These guys are so fun. They're good guys. Halliburton is a miracle. Right now they're 12. We'll see what happens. Let's keep going.
So I thought you said you kept a top 10 list, but this team is 12th.
Well,
so it's like his top 25 list of all.
So there's a top 10, and then there's
it's
the
like 10C.
Yeah, no. There's the
10-ish.
There's 5 teams under that they're constantly moving around, right?
So it's a top 15 list.
It's a fluid list.
It's a fluid list.
Occasionally there's 20, you know.
We'll have to do an
Gets
episode on that.
excited about-
We'll have to do an episode on my top.
Where does that team? Who shared that with us? There was a great clip of Al Harrington rediscussing the shootout at Rio with Steven
Jackson.
Where does that team rank? Are they on your list?
No,
they gotta be.
No, they did not make the list. They
I
shot
feel
up.
like occasionally you think about them. Wasn't that a lovable bunch of guys driving around with backseats full of
There's a backseat full of guns. Jamal Tinsley had at least 25 guns in his backseat. Yeah, he did not. That did not make the list.
But Al Harrington was on the team.
Yeah, but he didn't have any guns in his backseat.
And I can't figure out whether you're saying that it's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm confused now.
Steven Jackson only had one gun, which I thought was interesting.
That's like a weird number
he
for
had
Steven Jackson.
He had just gotten his first gun.
and he ended up with 0 teeth. So
Yeah. Wow. Lost all his teeth.
Do you think were the guns in the backseat? Were they in cases or they were just loose?
No, I think it was just loose guns. I envision
rattling around in the backseat.
Guns sliding around in the backseat.
Every hard stop, 9mm
gun
goes
slide to
off.
the Then it slides onto the floor. Yeah.
Just like onto
No,
some
I
other
think
guns.
no. I think he had a rifle seat belted in, just so it didn't fall over.
You don't want that one going.
Exactly. He had a child seat for his 9mm. I don't know.
Little Darren
but I think the
Jordan
rest of them
child
just rolled around. I think they were just lying on top of each other. Yeah. Like, just think. I also thought when he was talking about it, like a Halloween bag. Like he just had like a big bag with all of them in there. You sort of like you put your hand in and pull out your favorite gun. I don't know, whatever's on top. Or you dig around for the Reese's Pieces gun, I don't know.
Yeah, Yeah. Depends on what kind of mood you're in,
I don't have 25 minutes.
And
He's
like
a
the
complex
other
man.
nice little tidbit of that story is that they had all gone and registered to get their gun license together apparently,
Yeah,
and
the
like a
entire
sheriff
team.
came to like somebody's house and was just passing out gun licenses.
Yeah, gotta love Indiana. Although I thought Jermaine O'Neal looks like a hero in that story because he was like, "Hey, dude, Steven Jackson, don't go shoot people. You should go to the hospital since you have no teeth." I thought that was pretty
He
great
was the
advice.
leader of our team.
He was. Thank God he was there. So Steven Jackson went to the hospital instead of shooting people. So shout out Jermaine O'Neal. If Jermaine O'Neal wasn't fourth all time on my Face for 25 list, he would have moved up to fourth. That's how good that was.
Yep.
Actually, he might have moved above Baby Al after that story. Baby Al doesn't look great in that story. I'm going to move up. No. I'm going to do it right now live. J.O. moves above Baby Al.
Breaking news.
Oh, my goodness.
20 years
So he's
after
number
the
3
fact.
now?
He's number 3 now. Baby Al's 4.
Wow. This is
fixing it on my phone right now as we speak.
breaking news. All right. Well, while Colson's fixing that list in his phone, we want to thank you for listening. We'll be back at some point, probably later this week. And you can find us on Twitter between now and then. We are at Undebeatables. We have a Facebook page, facebook.com/TheUndebeatables. You could go to our website, theundebeatables.com, where we have a contact form. Or you can send us an old-fashioned email, shout out at theundebeatables.com. Back at that website, theundebeatables.com, I'll say it one more time. We not only have a contact form, we have a merch page. You can get yourself a t-shirt.
I'm going to keep breaking news. I'm doing this. I'm going to put J.O. at number 2. Screw it.
Whoa.
He's above AD now. I love J.O.
Wow.
This is happening real time
All
right
he
now.
had to do is not shoot people, just skyrocket right on up that list.
All right. No, I think J.O.'s
He's a
my
pacifist.
He's my
Colson's got a
second
soft spot for pacifists. You know?
second face. Look, I think we said it have to be a few more years before I do a top 25. So you guys are gonna have to just, imagine this in real time. But right now it's Reggie Miller, Jermaine O'Neal, number 2.
Boom.
There it is. Boom.
I'm sending a tweet to Antonio Davis. You gotta remedy this situation.
Hey, maybe stop some gun violence, AD, and see what happens. Maybe you go back up to... For the architect Honey Walsh, who was definitely a part of building all of those teams. And our once and always Hall of Fame coach, Bobby Sick-Leonard. Turn out the lights, the party's over.
Yeah. Donnie Walsh drinks a lot of Diet Cokes, trying to wash those years away.
That's right. There are so many bottoms of a Marlboro Red pack that will fix that pain.
Just Jamal Tinsley. Just Jamal Tinsley alone is responsible for so much.
Oh my god!
Like at least 8 cartons of Marlboro Red.
You know what? He is. That team is actually one of my top teams. When he was a rookie, Harper and you and I living in New Orleans, and he put up those 20 assists as a rookie. We thought he was the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Yes, we did.
That
We did not
2001
look in his
team-
back seat.
We did not. He did not have a backseat full of guns at that point. He was eating all of the Taco Bell at that point, but he was not. His backseat was full of Taco Bell and Arby's, but it was
Hey,
not
wait, I
guns
just
at that
realized,
point.
didn't Jamal Tinsley go to Iowa State too?
Iowa State.
State. Okay.
Iowa State. Wow, look at this. The 2 people with the most assists in a single game in NBA Pacers franchise history. Point guards from Iowa State.
And also Mount San Jacinto.
Where's Caitlin
belt.
Clark play?
Iowa.
Okay.
Hopefully,
So there's something
hopefully
She-
soon for the.
for the Indiana Fever.
For the Indiana Fever.
So maybe we just have a pipeline to Iowa.
I mean, they're churning out some basketball players, that's for sure.
Apparently. They walk out of the cornfield like Field of Dreams, and they just throw dimes.
I googled where is Jamal Tinsley now, and I found an article from 2022, and the headline is Jamal Tinsley paid $250,000 in fines for not showering after practices and games. Quote, he didn't want to get naked with the rest of his teammates. Unquote.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot of fines.
That's a lot of That's a lot of not showering.
Oof, boy. Can you shower at home or?
Team really wants you to get naked, man.
Yeah. It's a weird rule at some level.
What's the rule here on the Undebeatables? Do we have to shower before or after the pod? Like, is there fines going? I mean, I usually shower afterwards because I feel icky. You'll pay the fines. That's what keeps the show afloat, right? That's how we.
Yeah, exactly. That's our primary
how
source of funding at this point is
fines for
shower
Jason not
fines.
showering. Oh dear.